Okay, so who are we thinking? Responding to some fans on threads, James said that he's already pre-writing for his next project. It's gonna sound like I'm glazing, but I told you guys already, I'm apologize for the person I'm gonna become when the Superman trailer dropped. The man is incredible. I mean, he can pump out projects so quickly and just quality projects. He writes so fast. As a screenwriter myself, I envy that. But he specifically said right here, he said that he is currently deep in post production on Superman, which obviously we know is coming out in July this year. Peacemaker season 2, he's also in post production for, which is coming out in August this year. Along with that, he's doing some dailies, offering up some advice on other DC projects, which I'm assuming are like Clayface, Supergirl, Lanterns. On top of all of that, along with being co CEO of DC Studios, he is already pre writing his next project. So, what do we think, or who do we think he's writing for? Because there's a couple ideas that have been floated around that I think, especially right here, DCU updates, they put this poll up, and there's a couple things which I think it could be, and then there are a couple that are out there. So let me know your thoughts, obviously, but here are mine. I think that Creature Commando season 2 is a solid bet. We know that's already been renewed for a season 2, so I would assume he's going to be writing that. He wrote all the episodes for season 1. Keeping and going with this list, I could easily see Peacemaker season 3, because we know, as James has said in the past, season 2 of Peacemaker is going to be much more magical, much more world expanding, and really fit into the DCU. So that's obviously one that could come. I think that Superman 2 would probably be my pretty solid bet, I would say, just because the response to that incredible trailer, which I feel like I can't stop watching, but that's the type of response you dream about getting for a trailer. There were some rumors that apparently the studio, I guess Warner Brothers, loved the cut so much that they already want him working on a sequel, so that could be it, but I don't know. I I don't lean on that as much. I think it's either The Authority or A World's Finest film or The Brave and the Bold. Now, hear me out on all three of those. The first, The Authority, when the Gods and Monsters DCU Chapter 1 video first came out, James said that The Authority was a passion project of his. He said that he loves the Wildstorm characters, he loves The Authority, and that is just so his style and so his way of writing to bring kind of unknown characters into regular DCU canon. And we're actually getting our first look at one of the members of the Authority in Maria Gabriela de Faria, who's playing the engineer. There's a couple blink and you'll miss it shots of her in the Superman trailer when you go to see it in theaters. I could just easily see that being the thing that he's pre-writing. I think the Brave and the Bold and World's Finest are where they're kind of out there, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past him. For the World's Finest, I think with, again, I being so optimistic, and that's why Superman's here to give us hope. And like I said, I have such a belief in this film, my most anticipated film this year, for a myriad of reasons. Like I said, you saw me react to the trailer, and it just felt like my inner child was healing. But I think that film is going to be a hit. I think it's going to have a great reception. I wouldn't even say that this would be the sequel to Superman, but I think somewhere down the road we're going to get a world's finest film. James has talked about it multiple times. And seeing David Cornswett's Superman and the Batman of the DCU, whoever that turns out to be,
Interesting.
I could just see the way that I feel like James has handled Superman. I think having that type of dynamic with a world's finest would just be so awesome. Keeping in the Batman zone, I think the Brave and the Bold is probably, I would say, if I were to put money on it, I would say that might be after the Authority. That would be my next bet. So it would go the Authority, Brave and the Bold, and World's Finest. And I think Brave and the Bold because, as we know, as of right now, Andy Muschietti is directing the film. And we know that James has said too that the film, regardless of what anybody else has said, even Andy, the film hasn't been delayed. Not that it's been greenlit yet. James has repeatedly said no film is going to be greenlit unless there's a completed script. And with, I believe, fingers crossed, the success of Superman, the conversations that naturally come. Okay, what's going on with Batman? And we know that there's obviously the DC Elseworlds Batman with Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves, but I could see the question starting around. Okay, so where is Batman in this new DCU? And I don't know. I just have a feeling like you have Andy Muschietti, who I think is a fantastic director. You have Matt Reeves, who I have a very strong feeling he's going to be the Batman Godfather or the Gotham Godfather of DC. We've been hearing rumblings about that recently. And then you have James Gunn, who's writing as well. And so all of them kind of collaborating to make the best possible Batman project. Are you kidding me? Those are just my predictions, though. What do you think he's pre-writing?